Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here from QBKing77.com, here with a new kind of video, a video series that I will be doing called Quick Compare. And what's going to end up happening is I'm just going to quickly compare different cell phones. Now I'm going to need your participation for this one. This video is going to be a little bit longer than all of the other ones, just so I can explain exactly what I'm doing. So what's going to happen is I'm going to compare right now LG G3, HTC One M8. And in the future, what I need from you guys is to comment on phones you'd like to see compared. If you see one in the comments you like, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, comment and say, hey, I want to see this one and this one compared real quick. So I will take your feedback into consideration, so make sure if you want to see something in these videos that you don't see, leave a comment and let me know. I always love to hear back from you guys. So, that being said, I was in a hurry one time. My friend Doug called me and was like, I'm at the Verizon store and I want to get either the G3 or the M8. Which one should I get? And I realized a lot of people just want to hear which ones are better and the main differences between the two devices. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is telling you guys the main differences between the two devices. I'm not going to say, oh, both of these have Snapdragon 801 processors, because they both do. But I'm not going to say that in these videos, because I'm only going to say, hey, this has this and this does not have this, and why are the main differences better on one phone as opposed to another. So let's go ahead and get into it. Like I said, LG G3 versus HTC One M8. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is the design and build quality of the two devices. As you can see, they're both about the same height actually. However, the screen on the G3 has a 5.5-inch display and the M8 has a 5-inch display. So larger screen, however the body's a very similar size. Now that's being attributed to these speakers, which I'll get to in just a second. Flipping it on over, you'll see on the back, again, you have different color options for both. This is the white gunmetal, so obviously a little bit different. So this, however, has a lot more plasticky feel, and this is made of aluminum. So the aluminum adds a little bit more weight, however, it gives it a little more premium build quality feel as opposed to the plastic. Although the LG G3 has a removable back, which the M8 does not. They both allow for micro SD expandable storage, but you'll see this, you can remove your battery and replace it. So a lot of people find that as a huge pro for the G3 over the M8. Now flipping it over and going back to the screens, I do have brightness turned all the way down on both devices. So this would be all the way down. Let me turn it up actually on both of them so you can get a little idea. This has little toggles here that I can go maybe to about 50%, and this has a bar right here, a brightness bar, that I can go to about 50%. So here's 50% on both of the devices. As you can see, they're both great screens. Honestly, this one is a 1440p display, this one's a 1080p display, so the resolution is higher on the G3. Take note of that. Like I said, this one's larger. I would say these colors maybe are a little bit more richer, and these are a little bit more washed out. However, when doing certain things, maybe when you're outside, it might look a little bit better on the G3 as opposed to the M8. Personal opinion there, that's just coming from experience from me using it. So with the extra resolution though, however, it might decline battery life. However, the G3 has a 3000 milliamp hour battery and the M8 has a 2600 milliamp hour battery. So you might think the G3's has better battery life, but it doesn't necessarily. It's about similar with real world performance. Now, as I'm sure you've noticed, the button layout is different on both devices. On the LG G3, it's a little bit different. It's on the back. The middle button's the power button, volume up above it, volume down below it. Now, on the HTC One M8, volume rockers are on the right side, whereas the power button's up on the top right here. So, it's, I guess, personal preference. It's going to feel weird with the buttons on the back of the LG G3. Just right when you pick it up, if you're not used to it, it took me about 3 days to get used to it, but you will get used to it. So just kind of keep that in mind. Obviously, it's going to feel awkward at first. With the M8s, I'm not a big fan of power buttons being on the top just because you have to readjust your hand to turn it on and off. I prefer it being about on the right side here. So that's just a personal preference, but again, with the G3, don't worry, you will get used to that button being on the back. Now, the next two things I talk about are going to be two of the biggest differences between the two devices. First of all, speakers, sound quality. If you're someone that listens to a lot of music out of your phone or watches a lot of multimedia, plays a lot of games, you're going to want to get the HTC One M8. First of all, the speaker is facing you. So you'll see up top and bottom, there's stereo sound, so sound comes out of both of them, and it's facing you. And the sound quality is great. However, on the G3, the little speaker's down here in the back bottom right of the device. So it's going away from you when you're watching something, and it's just not as good quality. So I've yet to find something to combat the M8 in sound quality, so if you're looking for great sound quality and advice, M8. Now moving on to the other main difference would be the camera. So the G3 has a 13 megapixel camera on the back. You'll see a flash right there. This is laser autofocus, so you can see that little laser flashing right there. It focuses so quickly. It focuses faster than the M8. On the back it has a dual camera on the M8, a dual lens you'll see, which helps with taking pictures of blurring things in the background and focusing on certain things in the forefront, and then dual LED flash right there. So software wise, let's go ahead and hold it right here. So software wise, if I take a picture with either of them, the G3's probably has less shutter lag, and it focuses faster, so that has the edge there. Now when it comes to use, overall G3's camera is better. This has a 4 ultra pixel camera, this is a 13 megapixel camera. Megapixels and ultra pixels don't necessarily mean one's better than the other. However, G3's camera is definitely better than the HTC One M8, except in low light without flash. Low light without flash, the M8's camera does a very good job. And finally, the last difference I wanted to talk about is the software. They both do run Android. They should update to the latest Android software, usually around the same time. However, they both have different manufacturer overlays. LG UI and HTC Sense. The LG UI is definitely improved from the G2 to the G3, and the M8's Sense, 5.0 is a lot better than it used to be. So they're doing a good job at updating their software. Hopefully with Lollipop they both do revamps as well. The edge goes to the M8 definitely with software. These are just the stock launchers. You'll see this one's vertical in the app drawer, this one's horizontal. They of course have third-party apps as well, so swiping down we can go into the settings of both. You'll see they just look different. They have different colors on them. I would say overall the M8 is a little bit quicker in a sense of you have less lag times occasionally. It's not huge. This is a slight difference. I would say the G3 maybe is a little bit slower with the UI as opposed to the M8's Sense UI. Alright, but that's it. Like I said, please give me recommendations if you want to hear other things when I compare phones. If you want me to show other things, leave a comment, let me know. Also, let me know which 2 phones you want me to compare in the future. Like I said, the 2 main differences: camera goes to the G3, speaker quality goes to the M8. Obviously the screen size is different. I would say the G3's looks better overall when looking at it, especially with that very thin bezel. However, this has a little more premium feel to it. So there you go. Like I said, main differences between the 2 flagship devices, one from HTC, one from LG. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. If you give it a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate that as well. You could subscribe to me, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. All links will be in the description of the video below, and as always, thanks for watching.